Let's ask the expert now. Joining me right now is Erica Sandberg. She's with Consumer Credit Counseling Services of South San Francisco. I always say South San Francisco. I always get that wrong. It's CCC, Consumer Credit Counseling San Francisco,
right.
Services of San Francisco. So it's 3 C's, 2 S's, 1F.org. Erica, what are the trends right now on debt?
Well, unfortunately, late payments are up again. For the second quarter in a row, people are making their payments later and later. So it's really problematic. It's definitely an indication that consumers are in trouble. They were in trouble before, and they're getting into worse trouble now. For some reason, the message isn't getting through, or it's just getting harder for people to make it. So credit is very rarely the answer to somebody's problems or troubles. It's kind of the opposite, where you need to pull back rather than borrow more.
You know, I love your voice. I love the scratchy voice. It works for me. Now, why are people having more problems with late payments, Erica?
There's a variety of reasons. Last quarter, what ended up happening, of course, was that the Fed rose, the interest rates rose, gas prices were through the roof, and this dependency that people are having on credit is just sort of this brutal combination for consumers. So those were three big ones. Now what we're seeing is that the gas prices are beginning to drop a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe people have some breathing room, so we're not exactly sure what's going on right now. All I can say is that people are still having a difficult time.
Now, one of the stories that we're seeing all the time is housing prices are coming down a little bit, or they're not going up. So refinancing and quote-unquote tapping the equity a little bit tougher to do. How does that play into the current environment?
Well, it plays big because people got real accustomed to using their homes as this great big credit card, which it isn't. You know, one of the most important things to do when you buy a home is to consider it a long-term investment, and it's a place where you're going to live. Use it wisely. That doesn't mean sort of randomly taking cash out. And when you do that, you end up putting your home in jeopardy if times get rough, and times do get rough. So when you do tap into the equity, do it real carefully and under the advisement of somebody who really knows what they're doing.
Speaking of advice, we've got about 40 seconds. What would you give advice out there to somebody who's struggling right now?
Well, first of all, get assistance, because if you feel like times are getting rough and there's this financial crunch, reach out to somebody who can assist you. Don't try and do it on your own. That means go to a nonprofit organization and get help. Another idea is just to sit back and do a budget. Figure out how much is coming in and going out, and then spend accordingly. Don't buy into the whole unsecured loans are going to help you. Boy, I see them out there, and they're dangerous. Unsecured loans now could be interest rates of 90% or higher, if you can believe that.
Have you seen interest rates at 90%?
Indeed, I have. In fact, you know, they're all over the daytime television circuit. You'll see the advertisements for them, and they're there.
Thanks very much. CCCSSF.org. 3 C's, 2 C's, 1 F. CCCSSF.org. Consumer Credit Counseling Services, San Francisco.org. That's where you go if you need help. Now, coming up, we'll talk about HP's push into video games. Stay with us.